face me this way. I'll pull the casket out, take the handle back and forward. We're going to move out directly over to the lower unit. I'm going to be on the back curtain. You'll leave it, please. Back up to the herd.
Grab the handle. Hands on the bend in front of you.
Ready? Yep. Both hands, gentlemen. Pick up, place on the rollers. Thank you, gentlemen.
Right on over with the families. Thank you. At this time, if able, please rise for the rendering of military funeral honors. On behalf of the United States Air Force, and a grateful nation, please accept this flag representing our appreciation.
On behalf of the friends, family, and everyone here, we want to thank you all for being here in the celebration of the life of Richard A. Spencer. Richard A. Spencer, 83, of O'Fallon, Illinois, passed away on Monday, August 9th, 2021 in his residence. He was born November 3rd, 1937 in Greenfield, Illinois, a retired Air Force sergeant. Following a long and distinguished career, Richard was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross, Bronze Star with Oak Leaf Cluster, and the Republic of Vietnam Honor Medals during his service. After retiring from the Air Force, Richard continued his career as Director of Medical Records at Barnes Jewish Hospital in St. Louis, Missouri for over 20 years. He was a member of the National EC Glass Collectors of America and also wrote books for collectible glass. Richard also loved to fish and hunt and will be remembered for his great sense of humor. Richard was preceded in death by his parents Daniel Ray and Glenda Spencer and his brother Louis Ray Spencer. Richard is survived by his beloved wife Patricia Spencer of O'Fallon, Illinois, 4 children, Richard Eugene Spencer of Shiloh, Illinois, Teresa Heel of O'Fallon, Illinois, Lindell R. Spencer of O'Fallon, Illinois, and Catherine Bean of Troy, Illinois. 8 grandchildren, Sean Spencer of O'Fallon, Illinois, Natalie Hughes of New York, New York, Sarah Federico of St. Louis, Missouri, Christian Dushot of St. Louis, Missouri, Daniel Heel of St. Louis, Missouri, David Spencer of O'Fallon, Illinois, Candace Spencer of O'Fallon, Illinois, and Zane Spencer of St. Louis, Missouri, and 4 great-grandchildren, Ty Spencer, Ozzie Doshot, Zella Hughes, and Cameron Heel. Would you join me in prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, power, glory forever. Amen. It is never easy to go through a day like this, and it's difficult to just summarize such a great life in just a few minutes, but that will not stop efforts to do so. After talking to his family, 3 descriptions of Richard popped into my mind. The first description that popped into my mind was Richard was a hard worker. From the young age of 10, Richard started his first job of mowing lawns for 50 cents a yard. Not only this, but he was a football player at Greenfield, Illinois, a sport that requires strength, endurance, and persistence. Richard also worked as a vet in high school and also working at his aunt's and uncle's grocery store, showing Richard's determination to be a hard worker. The second description that popped into my mind was that Richard dedicated his life to serving others. Richard was baptized when he was younger and gave his life to Christ in service to him. Richard also spent 22 years in the United States Air Force, serving 2 tours in Vietnam and 1 in Thailand, and even participating in the honor guard for President Dwight Eisenhower and General Franco of Spain. During his time in the military, he was not only serving his country, but serving Vietnamese citizens with his officer on treatment of both dental and medical needs. Richard also volunteered to assisting physicians at a leproseum, a place for people who've contracted leprosy. But one of Richard's favorite services was assisting physicians at an orphanage. The orphanage was managed by a priest who was quite the connoisseur. He was good at bartering goods for needed at the orphanage, and Richard was amused at how slick he was for getting the needed supplies for the children. The third and final description that popped into my mind was the joy that Richard found in life. Richard loved dogs, fishing, hunting, and finding steals and antique hunting that were worth more than listed at. Richard enjoyed the thrill of the hunt, and he and his wife wrote several books on antique glassware and traveled the country buying and selling antique glassware. But the thing that Richard found the most joy in was his family. His wife, his kids, and his grandchildren. He loved to tease them and give them silly nicknames like Billy Bob, Harry, Boog, and Crockett, just to name a few, which stick to them to this day. He wanted to see them all succeed in whatever dreams they were chasing. He was looked up to as the head of the family, and if anyone had a problem, big or small, he always called for the talk at the dining room table. Richard was truly a hard worker, someone who served others, and found the most joy in life. Richard reminds me a little bit of King David, who was also a military man. His greatest defeats were defeating Goliath and leading Israel into many battles. In Psalm 23, we can hear just a little bit of David's military background. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right path for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will overflow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. In this passage, David sounds like he is describing a military commander. Here are some of the provisions that the shepherd or commander made for us in times like this. The first provision is the good shepherd cares for our needs. God takes care of our physical needs. He makes us lie down in green pastures because sometimes we will not do it on our own. He restores our soul. He renews our spirit. He gives us peace, all of this being seen in 1 Peter 5:7, which says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. The second provision is the good shepherd leads us. Just as a military commander leads his men, God leads his people. Even at times when you don't realize that God is leading you, he still is. The shepherd leads us so that we will seek him and find him. The third provision is the good shepherd gives us courage. Just like a drill sergeant works hard to remove fear and instill courage, God too gives us courage to face what we must face. One of the most frightening experiences we face is death. But God promises to walk through the valley of the shadow of death with us. We are in that valley right now. We have been touched by our loved one's life and death. Richard filled his life with service, hard work, and joy, as well as serving those around him and bringing joy to those around him. Richard brought joy to those he served, the orphans, to the lepers, to the physicians, to the sick, to the injured, and everyone else that Richard served. Richard truly lived a life of humility, putting others before himself, and sharing his contagious joy with all who encountered him. The fourth and final provision is the Good Shepherd gives us a great destiny. The house of the Lord is heaven. Most Christians have trouble believing the promise of heaven, that is, until someone we love passes away. Then they often start to question, were they truly saved?